How does it feel to have created something that's actually going to really impact the world and change the way women work and live?
We are building something that has never been done before. We have created groundbreaking, revolutionary technology, people talking about all these gender gaps, and one of the most frustrating things about it is, what solutions are we bringing forward? We have to take control, get ourselves in the game, and show up to win it. I think I'm just so sick of hearing the words gender gap, and I really want this space to be a no bullshit, judgment-free zone. We are bringing together a melting pot of diverse women, the biggest names, game changers in business, media, culture, health, creatives, cultural icons.
Celebrities, influencers, you've got thousands of people on the wait list for this. What is it that you're launching? And we're here.
As if we're here.
We're here.
Look what we've done.
I know. I'm just obsessed with the set.
I know, it's come out so amazing.
I know.
So amazing. Our vision has come to life.
I know.
And we're here.
I'm proud of us.
Yeah, we did it. The devil works hard, but we work harder, right?
Yes. Lots of that. So I've got a question to ask you.
Go for it.
Sophie, how does it feel to have created something that's actually going to really impact the world and change the way women work and live?
I'm excited and I'm so ready for this. And I think so is the rest of the sisterhood, women everywhere. I think this is long overdue and it's not something that's been done before, and that's why it's so needed.
And this is why we're playing to win.
And this is why we're playing to win. We're not competing for scraps anymore. We're in the game and we're going to win.
So what's the story? What's the story behind playing to win?
I think I'm just so sick of hearing the words gender gap. I'm just so over it. And what we're building with Rhae, which we can get onto later, this is just a platform where we are bringing together a melting pot of diverse women, the biggest names, game changers in business, media, culture, health, creatives, cultural icons, to really lift the lid and talk about the issues that really shape women's lives and kind of rattle the cage of conformity a little bit. And we don't have a lot of media platforms that allow women to control their own narrative. And I really want this space to be a no bullshit, judgment-free zone where we lift each other up instead of tearing each other down all the time. And I think that's the real elephant in the room when we talk about gender equity. We don't often have those uncomfortable conversations about how women treat each other. So yeah, I really want this to be that supportive community that empowers each other and we lift each other to rise.
Absolutely. And I feel like we need that more than ever. And I think something that's going to be really special about this podcast, that it is really synced around all of that. Like, obviously there's lots of podcasts out there that have these straight talking, real talking discussions, but I think we're really bringing to the surface the problems in society, workplace, and with women. And I know who you've got coming on guest wise, and it's just going to be absolutely incredible. So this has come from your baby, your new baby. Just to give people some insight, you've already had this business valued, already hitting 7 figures before launch.
Yep.
You've had household names that everybody knows interested in investing into this business. Celebrities, influencers, you've got thousands of people on the wait list for this. What is it that you're launching?
So we are building something that has never been done before. It's the world's first hormone syncing app, and we have created groundbreaking, revolutionary technology that is going to sync women's hormonal data with their lives. And that means every aspect of that. So career, friendships, relationships, health, nutrition, fitness, to just really help women unlock their full potential and finally understand how our bodies actually work. And that is just such a huge issue that we have in our lives, is that we don't actually understand how our own bodies work. And women's health is just so underfunded. There's no education, there's no access to the services and the knowledge and the treatments that we need. And once we understand how our bodies work and we're aligned with them, we can just unlock so much more confidence and just finally understand what it is that, how women's bodies fundamentally function. And that's such an important part of how we then show up in the world, build confidence, have clarity, and finally kind of show up in a world that was never built for us. But actually, when we take back our own power and really take the time to understand our health instead of dismissing our hormones or being dismissed, it's just like a completely new frontier of women's health and empowerment and success. So I'm really excited.
And I feel like this is the fast track, we are all pushing to have, better paid jobs and, equal gender in the workplace and things like that. But this app, I feel, gives us the opportunity to speed up that process. And like you say, take that power back in the sense of, I've got an app here that's going to support me. It's going to tell me why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. It's going to tell me why I'm being aggy with my partner. It's going to tell me when's the best time to speak to my boss at work about certain situations.
Yeah.
And like you say, bring the power back without just waiting on the world to finally give in and say, do you know what? Women do deserve that pay rise. Do you know what? We understand you hormonally. Because I sadly don't believe that we're ever going to get to a world where that is going to be the case.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think the world, exactly like you said, the world is never going to bend. It's never going to adapt. So we have to take control, get ourselves in the game and show up to win it. Because no one's going to give us that. And, we've had decades and decades and decades of people talking about all these gender gaps. And one of the most frustrating things about it is, what solutions are we bringing forward to actually deal with them? It's really good to have these conversations and lift the lid and really amplify those issues that we all face. But actually, what are we actually doing about it? And I think Rhae is absolutely built on the mission to achieve gender equity in every way, shape and form. And I strongly believe that the way we do that is by giving women the tools to be able to understand themselves. And like you said, when the best time of the month where you're most confident to go and pitch for a massive client or ask your boss for a pay rise or have a really difficult conversation with your partner, your conflict resolution skills are going to be better, your communication skills are going to be better, and your clarity of mind and decision making. And that will just change the way that women show up in the world, change the way that we go about earning money, change the way that we take those big swings and really believe in ourselves. And all of those stats about Rhae that you rattled off about the valuation. And, I feel so grateful to have so much interest from investors. And that wouldn't have been possible without me believing in this vision and having this purpose. And that has come from being able to understand myself and understanding when I'm at my best to have certain conversations. And I want every woman to have access to that. It's a very exciting time. And yeah, I'm just excited to get started.
Do you know what? I'm excited to be able to get my hands on it because I've been there behind the scenes watching you build away and having these conversations with everybody. And I just want it to be able to benefit my own relationship. When it gets to that time of the month, I am a bitch. I'm nasty. I am. I'm horrible. And I feel so sorry for my partner and think, how is he going to be able to deal with me? But also, I don't know when I'm due on that time of the month. I don't know whether I'm just aggy for the sake of it. I don't know whether it's the hormones.
Yeah.
And we as women, it changes all the time.
Absolutely.
I could be due on and be absolutely fine. And then the following week, my mood sometimes, switches.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think what that then does is that plays into our confidence, because then we're sat self-doubting thinking, oh my God, am I just this really horrible, angry person? And then we kind of spiral into that self-doubt of, oh God, they deserve better, or oh, I'm really awful, or oh, I really fucked that up at work today, or whatever. And just blaming ourselves all the time. Like, we have enough to deal with, and we're constantly told by society to shrink and mould and curate ourselves into this perfect vision of what a woman should be like. And when you throw your hormones into that, you have no idea whether you're coming or going half the time. And that real lack of self-belief and confidence of, I know this is just because my hormones are playing up at the moment. And actually, instead of me focusing on the things that I'm not great at right now, I've actually got so many other superpowers at this time of the month that I'm going to utilise and put my energy in the right place at the right time to get really strong results. And I think that's what it's all about, and building that self-confidence to think, okay, I'm not just an asshole when I'm on my period.
What does Rhae stand for?
So Rhae stands for Rhythm, Habits, Alignment and Energy. And the hormone sync technology that we've created essentially aligns all of those things, syncs them together so that you can create that real holistic success and holistic understanding of who you are, how your body works and your health. And I think what will be so incredible about this is that when you can start pulling together those patterns by syncing all of those 4 pillars together, you're not only going to be able to advocate for yourself in the healthcare space, which, as we know, is so difficult for women.
Yeah.
The waiting list in this country for gynecology appointments is just terrifying. And when you think compared to the US, where every woman has a gynecologist, unless you actively go and search for that, it's just not something that we've ever had access to. So not only are you going to be able to advocate for your own health, and you'll be able to notice, and the AI will be able to notice, okay, something's a bit different this month. That might not be the most normal thing. Go and see a healthcare provider. So there's so much built into this that just by having an awareness of your natural rhythm, the habits that you can then create from it, living in alignment, and then energy, putting it into the right places at the right time, just really opens up the potential for what women can be.
So give us some examples. I see Rhae as our new pocket bestie.
Absolutely, yeah.
So just explain what it's going to look like for us. So say, for example, I'm having a really stressful week at work. I'm due on, maybe I've written in something like, right, Rhae, I've got a lot on this week. How should I simplify? How would that come back to me?
So essentially what you will get is when you sign up to the app, you will put in all of your data around your cycle, your life, your career, what your goals are, any challenges that you've got, or maybe if you run a business and you're trying to scale to the next level, whether you're trying to get a promotion, whether you're struggling with your relationships, so the AI can really get to know you. And every single woman's experience will be completely different with Rhae. And what it will do is every day, based on your cycle data, it will give you personalised insights every morning into what you can expect today, what you can, where your strengths are going to be, where your weaknesses is going to be, a well-being tip. If you've got the gym booked, what's going to be your best way to kind of perform at peak during that session. And then it also has a built-in AI chatbot that is personally yours. And like you said, you can say to the chatbot, oh my God, I've got a massive pitch today. I'm so tired. I'm so unconfident. I'm due on my period. And it will coach you through that day by day. So it's essentially like your best mate, your life guru, your health coach, your career coach, all in one. And like I said, it's so personalised that no one will have the same experience as you, because every woman is different. And I think it's not a one size fits all, especially with our health. So that's kind of the real crux of it, is that it has that real personalised feel to it.
And I'm guessing the more you use it, the more it's going to understand about you, your mannerisms, everything,
100%.
every detail of you. So it's going to totally probably expect a message at 9:30 on a Monday morning from you when you haven't reached out. That's incredible. I mean, look, there's loads of female apps out there, right, telling us when we've got our periods and things like that. But equally, I know I'm still always Googling. So the fact that you can bring that app and have that side and bring something that's going to be able to help you work through something, almost like a therapist. I'm seeing her as a therapist and a bestie.
Absolutely.
It's
and
incredible.
I think with the female apps that we've got already, obviously, you know, your flows of the world, they kind of stop at period tracking, fertility windows, and actually that just scratched the surface of women's health. And because we have such a lack of education and funding into women's health, it's actually, like I said, it literally just scratches the surface of what we're capable of. And okay, we all get that we have a menstrual cycle. We all understand, okay, around ovulation, we're going to be our most fertile. But what else?
Yeah.
There's so much more to that. And the more women that I speak to, the more conversations that I've had throughout this process of building Rhae, everyone knows that their menstrual cycle and their hormones affect them in so many different ways. And like I said, even down to like our friendships. I was having a conversation with someone the other day about this, and she was sort of saying, like, there's definitely times in the month when I think, oh God, are my friends ignoring me, or like, have I upset someone?
Yes.
And it's nothing to do with that. It's just me in my head, because of the way my hormone fluctuations are. I'm just more insecure at that time of the month. I feel more vulnerable, and that's absolutely part of it. And I think we've just become so accustomed to just getting on with things and blaming ourselves that we just don't really even look at our health. And actually that's the root core of everything that we do. So
So Rhae could be actually saving arguments. So if she's like, if I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been a bitch today, Rhae can say, no, send her this screenshot.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that.
You know, those kind of things.
Exactly that. And just really give women that support that they deserve. And we've waited a really long time for something like this to exist.
I'm
And
so excited.
Just are constantly forcing ourselves to be productive, to grind, to hustle, and never mind all of the other issues that we have to deal with if we decide to become parents, if we're trying to run businesses, if we're trying to hold down friendships and social lives and be our best selves and have it all, which is, you know, such a damaging thing for women to feel like they have to live up to, that we just really deserve this kind of support. And I hope that it's gonna really give women, yeah, that support that they've just waited so long for.
And we're saying women, like what age groups does this go up to? Is it menopause level or?
Yeah, absolutely. So Rhae has been designed to support every woman at every life stage. So from 18 years old right up until you don't want to use it anymore. So it can support you through being a young professional. It can support you through that journey if you decide you want to have children, if you end up having to go down the fertility route, fertility treatment route, it will guide you through all of that. Then kind of that matrescence era after you've had a baby, because I think that's a real area that no one really
That really is.
talks about.
Yeah.
And we're always, the world wants to tell us how to be pregnant and how to give birth and how to be a mother, but when we look at our hormones post baby, we're completely different people. It's like we've been in a jar, we've been shook up, and everything's gone back into a different place, and we just have to raise this new little human, get back to work, hold down a relationship, go to the gym, and just, it's so overwhelming. And that's why women are burning out twice as fast as men. You know, like we're really dealing with excess levels of cortisol that are so bad for our health. So it can guide you through that, perimenopause, menopause, so every single life stage in your kind of hormonal journey, Rhae can support you.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. I'm so
And
excited.
I think we need to, as women who are pre-menopause and pre-perimenopause, that's going to be us.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a lot more kind of support from the younger generations of women for women with menopause, because that's going to be us one day. And why
Yeah.
would we not want to understand what that process is going to be like, so we're prepared for it and we know how to navigate it when we get there?
Absolutely. And I guess even the chance for us to ask questions, even for our own parents. Like
Yeah.
I've gone through that stage with my mum where she's gone through the menopause and I'm like, oh, you are unbearable, woman.
Yeah,
Like, but
100%.
now I've looked into it and I've done my own personal research. I understand the struggles there. And actually I
Yeah.
feel really sorry for my mum.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited that she's going to be able to, I say she, Rhae,
Yeah.
she's a she, is going to be able to educate. I just want to take it back though to the workplace. Off air, you've told me a really interesting stat about how the 9 to 5 isn't created for women.
Yeah.
And the hormone fluctuations. Just touch on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So men have 30 hormonal fluctuations a month and they have one every day around midday, and that's when their testosterone peaks. So when we think about the 9 to 5 and what that looks like, that is perfect, because you have that, you wake up, you power through your morning, then you get your big rush of your peak of testosterone that powers you through the end of the day, and then they reset again every day. So their cycle is 24 hours. Women's is 28 to 40 days on average, depending on what kind of cycle you have. And we have 480 hormonal fluctuations a month. So the world needs to look different for us. It's very difficult for women to have consistency and do the same thing every single day when we are just not built like that. Our biology is not built like that. So all of these, you know, for centuries, we've just been forced into this. This is how the world is, and you've just got to get on with it. And we don't care if you're struggling with your emotions today. We don't care if you're dealing with horrendous period pain. You're trying to figure out endometriosis, PMDD, all of these, you know, really chronic health conditions that just have never been kind of given the attention or respected in the way that they should. And we've just got on with it. And we're doing really bloody well at getting on with it, but we shouldn't have to. And one of the most startling stats that I've heard recently that really has become a huge driving force for why this mission is so important is that women's infertility is at record highs. And when you think about the trajectory of what that looks like, that's a really dangerous place to be in. And it's because we're so stressed. Our bodies can't cope with the world that we've created around us. And we just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And yeah, that's the result of it. Our bodies just shut down.
And when men realise that it will be too late, and then we'll be back in that series. What was it?
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. Well, we
Let's
don't
hope
want
it
that.
never gets to that point. But like you said, exactly.
But it is going that way.
Yeah, 100%. And we only have to look at America to, like, without getting too political, we've only got to look at America to see the rights around women's health and how that's being rolled back. And, you know, we're part of that Western culture.
It could happen to us.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
exactly.
we've got to take something on board.
Yeah.
And You shared an interesting stat about there's one particular day of the month that if we were to go to our boss and ask for a pay rise, you can grab it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are certain times of the month when you are more confident, more self-assured, can have really direct conversations instead of feeling that need to prove yourself because you know how fucking good you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, that day of the month will be different for every woman. And I think that's why Rhae is so important and so different to what else is on the market right now, is that it is so personalised. You know, just because it might be the day that I'm ovulating, might be my most confident day. Yours might be completely different. And that's why we need this personalised approach to women's health instead of what is on the market now is very generic. It's very kind of one size fits all. And I think that's the beauty of Rhae.
You've shared some interesting stats actually about how it improves confidence. Other bits, just share a little bit more about that from what you
Yeah,
received.
absolutely. So we did a beta study with 100 users, and within a 3-month period, 65% of them increased their earnings through the advice that was given to them through Rhae, and they cut burnout by 55%.
Wow.
And that was in 3 months. That's how powerful this is. And if you think about that over a 6-month period, a 12-month period, a 5-year period, what does that look like? And how exciting and how amazing that when you just give women the healthcare and support that they need, what can happen?
It's going to allow us to set those boundaries. And we always talk about the importance of self
Yeah.
care, self love, boundaries. But actually, half the time, we never know when to set the boundary, when's right for us. So to be able to have all of this in one place and to know, do you know what? Next week's not going to be good for me. It's a rest week. And to be able to set that boundary and start gaining some of that control back, whether it's the workplace, whether it's around friendships. So I mean, imagine a group of girls all on Rhae, all understanding their hormones,
Yeah.
knowing they've been a bitch this week,
Yeah.
knowing not to go and speak to that friend because they're going to get ticked off. The world's actually going to become a better place, though.
Yeah, exactly. And the world that we navigate now is so far from optimal for us. So when we think about how, you know, women are 47% more likely to be seriously injured in a car crash because the safety tests use male dummies, we're only included in 12% of all clinical trials. So how do we know that medication is right for us? We're completely different to men, and a huge cultural shift is needed to make that happen. And that is what I hope that Rhae will be able to do, and to kind of start rattling that cage a bit of let's question things, let's engage our critical thinking a little bit more. And I think that's something that we desperately need in the world right now, is for people to start really thinking about things a bit more and challenging what they've been taught and what they've learned, and have an opinion. Have an opinion. And I think women have always been trained to be quiet, look pretty. No, have an opinion. Go out and, you know, that's how you're going to change the world. And that's something that, as big as that mission is, I just hope Rhae can even do that by 1%.
It would have made a massive dent for
Yeah.
sure. When can people expect to have Rhae in their hands?
So we're going through a lot of testing at the moment to make sure that we can make this the most valuable thing for women. You know, I think women are so sick of being sold to, having the wool pulled over their eyes, and just that's not what this is about. So we want to make sure it's extremely valuable and can give women exactly what they need. So it's going to be later on this year. But yeah, it's really exciting. And I guess in the meantime, we've got a wait list. Like you said earlier, we've got thousands already on it, which is incredible. So people can join the wait list and keep up to date. And in the meantime, we're doing lots of cool stuff on WhatsApp. So yeah, come and join us.
How can people start getting involved with the community? And that's really what you want to create with this, is
Yeah.
a community where people can share their voice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this is all about. And I feel like community is such a buzzword at the moment, and I'm not sure that it's always necessarily used in the right way. And in order for us to create this movement and really, really change the world for women, we need to all work together. And that starts with community. And that is actually women's superpower. That's what it's always been, right back to primal days, is community. So yeah, I would love as many people as we can to join the wait list. Come and join the WhatsApp mailing list, where you just get really cool insights a couple of times a week. And yeah, send us your stories that we can talk about and Playing to Win with the guests. We'd love to hear from as many people as possible. And yeah, we're here to help. We're here to support people, and you know, whatever we can do to make their lives better helps the collective majority of women. So yeah.
Amazing. And obviously we've got Playing to Win, which is going to be a great platform for you to start allowing women to come on and share their voices. What kind of guests have you got coming on? What kind of backgrounds? I know I'm prodding. What kind of topics? What's the topics of discussions, just to give insight?
So we have got everyone from VC founders who are going to come on and tell us exactly how to get investment in our businesses. We have got cultural icons kind of lifting the lid behind reality TV and what that journey is like. We have got huge journalists and editors coming on to kind of tell us exactly about how you can get in the press if that's what you want to do for your business, but to also kind of really pick apart media representation and how we as women can show up differently and confidently and authentically. So there's just a real mix of women from completely different backgrounds who are all so successful in their industries. And yeah, we're just going to have those really difficult conversations and help as many women as they can kind of step into their own power and believe in themselves, because that's the difference between a yes and a no most of the time.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you for
Thank
dropping
you.
everything, all the juice on episode 1. I think this gives a great insight to everybody to like really understand what this is, what the movement is, and yeah, can't wait to be part of the journey.
Oh, it's so exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. Over and out.